Hello and welcome to another episode of Thoughts Shared Souls Bared. I am Katie.
And I'm Jill.
And today, Jill, what are we going to be talking about today?
We are talking about I hate this. We are talking about One Royal Holiday, which is a film, it's a movie that premiered on
Film is a
Channel.
bit of an extreme.
Yeah, it's a film or a movie that premiered on the Hallmark Channel starring Aaron Tveit, Laura Osnes, Victoria Clark, Bradley Rose. Who else was in it?
Who is the other girl? Krystal
Joy Brown, beautiful woman, incredible woman, love her. Tim McGowan, is it Tim or Tom?
Couldn't tell you.
And I think Geraldine Lear is in it also. So stacked cast.
No, who was the guy? Who played her dad? Who played her dad?
That's Tim McGowan. Tim or Tom McGowan? I don't remember.
Mike? No, he's the guy from. Now we need to look this up. He's the guy that I swear he was in the pro shot of She Loves Me, right? As Zepos?
Yeah, I think so. He was in, and he was also the wizard
Zepos?
in he was the wizard in Tom McGowan, yes.
Tom McGowan. So he's the and he's also I know him from
he's
years of watching. Yeah, Ladislav Zepos. I know him from years of watching King of Queens.
Yes, I used to love King of Queens when I was a kid.
Oh my god, my dad had 3 shows he would watch constantly, still does watch constantly, and those are Seinfeld, King of Queens, and Everybody Loves Raymond.
My mom was Everybody Loves Raymond, King of Queens, and I always I always got her to let me stay up past my bedtime to watch the George Lopez show. That was
yeah. But so those are 3 shows I watched constantly with my dad. I do not like Everybody Loves Raymond. Everyone yells far too much in it. Yes. I don't understand. Everyone's just so angry all the time, and I'm like, literally chill. But I really liked King of Queens, and Seinfeld is just ingrained into my DNA.
I've seen one episode of Seinfeld.
Oh my god.
My parents,
I've seen them all so many times.
So I didn't watch it growing up.
I've seen them all so many times.
Everyone thinks I'm crazy. I haven't seen Seinfeld. I don't want to see Friends. Like, I have no interest in Friends.
Friends is, I feel like people who were born in the 90s and like grew up in like the early aughts, or even like through the 90s, their parents were either Seinfeld people or Friends people.
Yeah.
And so that's what you grew up watching. And it wasn't until later that you like discovered the other. And so I didn't discover Friends until later. But I think Friends, there are certain episodes of Friends that I think are so funny. Yeah. Like, for those in the know, the episode where Phoebe gives birth to the triplets, I think is the funniest episode of television to ever exist. For Friends, at least. But yeah, so I watched, but Seinfeld is ingrained into my DNA.
Yeah. I grew up, because like I grew up with like Saved by the Bell. That was like my go-to. Saved by the Bell and Full House were like my 2 favorite shows. Happy Days. I loved Happy Days.
My dad hated Happy Days.
What?
Like, it'll come on now, and my dad is just like, this show is so dumb. This show is supposed to take place in the 50s. Why does everybody have 70s haircuts?
It's filmed in the 70s. I love Happy Days. Happy Days is like part of my childhood. Like, I met Henry Winkler at Comic-Con a few years ago.
Henry Winkler at a book signing when I was like 9 years old.
Nicest person on the planet.
I was 9 years old. I don't remember.
Dang it. He's like the nicest human being I've ever met in my life. And he gives the best hugs ever. I felt like I was hugging my grandpa. Like, he was amazing. I loved meeting him.
So I was watching some interview of Bill Hader's, and he was talking about Henry Winkler. And obviously Henry Winkler is like an icon for the ages.
Yes.
But they filmed Barry on the Paramount lot. And he said that one day, just like in the middle of shooting one of the seasons, like they were midway into the seasons, he just like looked around and was like, this is the stage we filmed Happy Days on. Like, it took him that long to realize. Because I know,
funny.
which is wild, because I've toured the Warner Brothers lot before, and I've toured touring is a weird way to explain what I did, or like what is available to do at Universal. You literally in a tram and just going around. But on Warner Brothers lot, in front of every stage or on every stage, there's a plaque that's like, these are the big shows that were filmed. So like, and some of them are like named after the like the big shows. So there's like the Friends stage. And I don't know if Big Bang Theory has been like named their stage or whose stage they were on or what, but like, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to One Royal Holiday.
Yeah.
We went on a whole tangent because of Tom McGowan, which is fine.
Yeah. What a guy. He was great.
So I feel like we should really discuss the plot of One Royal Holiday.
I actually liked it. I enjoyed watching this movie.
Very simple plot.
I enjoyed watching. Right. I enjoyed watching. It was nice. So basically it's this girl, this nurse, Anna, she works in like the cardiac care unit at Boston General, I think is what they said. And she's this like really like, I don't know how to describe, she's cute. Like I loved her. She was so fun. But she's like this.
Played by Laura Osnes.
Yes, played by the Queen, Laura Osnes. And there's a gnat in my room. And cute. She is like, she meets these people who are stuck right outside of Boston.
So she is going up to her father's in Connecticut
in like
for Christmas.
Connecticut. Yeah.
For Christmas. And then she stops for a donut,
and
essentially. A donut and coffee. And she runs into this man who is trying to get a cup of tea because he's European with a British accent. Can we discuss why all European, like in Hallmark movies, in like any movie, I have a lot of thoughts on this, but like the universal European accent is just a British accent. Why can't it be like a mid-Atlantic accent? Also, I have the same qualm when it comes to like movies that are supposed to take place in other countries. Primarily the one that's coming to mind is Boy in the Striped Pajamas. Why? That's all in Germany, or not Germany, but somewhere over there.
Yeah.
And they all have British accents in that too, and I'm like, make it make sense.
Weren't they? Well, didn't some of the people in that movie, weren't they like they're from Britain? Like they like.
No, it's definitely very much about the Holocaust. So it's like these German
I mean, like,
people, but they were in Auschwitz, which takes place in Poland, like very much like German leaders though. These people are supposed, or at least the one boy is supposed to be German. But this is also like, I have many other issues with The Boy in the Striped Pajamas, primarily the way it was written.
I haven't seen that since middle school, so I don't know.
Linguistically. But just like linguistically, I have issues with The Boy in the Striped Pajamas, because it's clearly written for people who speak English.
Yeah.
Because there's words they use that are supposed to be, like instead of saying Führer, they say a fury, and it's supposed to be like almost like a play on like a double meaning kind of deal, where it's like, yeah, Hitler was fury, like, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And then they called Auschwitz out with, and it's like, these are clearly meant for, like, it's supposed to be these like almost pun, and it's this whole issue I have with Boy in Striped Pajamas, on top of everyone in that movie having a British accent.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah. So
why do they have British accents if they're supposed to be from northern, eastern, western Europe, or wherever they're supposed to be from?
In One Royal Holiday, the accent I read the article that Aaron did on the movie and like discussing, you know, different things about it. So he said that he tried to get them to do Scandinavian because like he's Norwegian, so like he thought it would be really cool to get to, and he looks Norwegian, like this man looks.
Aaron Tveit is Norwegian?
Yes, there's a town in Norway called Tveit. There's also a town in Norway called Osnes. So
I thought that he was German. I thought that was a German last name.
no, he's Norwegian. But he tried to get them to do Scandinavian and they said no. And I was like, that's lame. I think that would have been a little bit spicier. I think that would have been more fun. Are you kidding me? I want to hear Eric
then you gotta get everyone.
Then
you gotta get everyone to do a Norwegian accent.
That's fair. So, but what makes me laugh, so he said that there's like this whole, like there was this whole like background for his character where like he studied in London, but they're from Northern Europe. So like, I don't know. And also it's a fictional country, Galwick is. So like, I don't know what their whole thought process
We can do the same thing for Genovia.
Exactly. Like, what is the Genovian accent? Like, I don't understand.
It's just Julie Andrews putting on a British accent. Or she is British.
I talked about this with a few of my friends who watched the movie also. And it was funny because at times I heard Aaron do like a Scottish accent. Like it almost switched to Scottish.
The accent was pitchy.
It was like
it dropped like so much.
There were certain lines. I did discover this though. I think that it was like an intimidation thing because Bradley Rose is actually British and he's the guy that played like the butler guy.
You mean like the friend? The friend?
Christopher. Yeah, Christopher.
Yeah, okay. He's not a butler.
He works for them.
He's not a butler.
Well, I don't know.
He's just part of the entourage.
I don't know. Laura Osnes said butler the other day. Now that's all I can think of. So, I don't know.
Did she read the script?
I think she just said it as like, because she said it like butler person, and so I was like, oh, butler. Like I just like that's the only thing I thought of.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. So he's actually British. So Evan and I, my roommate, we think that it was like an intimidation thing. We think that it was like, I don't know. But there were times where it sounded really good. Like I really liked it sometimes. Like the scene, a lot of the scenes where it was just him and Laura and like he was speaking more quietly, it came out way better than a lot of other scenes.
Okay, so there's this whole thing when like non-Americans do American accents and you can pick it like that, especially in their A's and R's. It's very noticeable. No matter how good of an accent you can do, you can always kind of pick out a non-American. Yeah. And the thing is also, especially with men, when British men especially do an American accent, they very much go deep and gruff. Like think Robert Pattinson in Twilight. It's very much like this and da 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 da.
Oh, I've never seen Twilight. I don't know.
Oh my god, Jill, you need to get on that.
No, I don't.
Okay, well then think. I don't know if you've seen this, like Andrew Garfield in anything he's been in where he's not British.
I see clips of him and things. So
yeah, he's putting on like they go very deep and gruff, and that's what I think, because I feel like you can also pick out a fake British accent. Like nobody is fooling anybody with their accents.
No.
Unless you're Florence Pugh.
I can always tell. Like I'm very good at noticing it. But like I don't know. I just chalked it up to it. I was like, Galwick is fictional. I don't care enough. Like, I was like, it doesn't bother me. Like it's I don't care enough. It's a Hallmark movie.
It's a Hallmark movie. Nothing is to be taken seriously. What is happening?
Oh my god! Someone's parading down your street. They said it's a ticker tank parade.
Anyway, so they meet for tea, or they don't meet for tea. They meet because she's picking up coffee and a donut, and he wants tea. And then turns out there's like a giant snowstorm that prohibits them from flying back.
New England in December.
And this snowstorm prohibits them from flying back to Galwick. But they also have no room in the hotel that they just stayed at. But there's a lot of rooms at this new inn. And then, so eventually...
There's so much Christmas romantic fluff. It's just...
Eventually, they all end up in this small Connecticut town, staying at Laura Osnes's father's in, and there's all sorts of Christmas activities to be done. Laura Osnes's best friend is the mayor.
Who's beautiful and perfect. Krystal Joy Brown.
Yeah. And it just, romance ensues.
Naturally. And I loved the like subplot of Krystal Joy Brown's character Sarah and Christopher.
It was cute.
That was so cute. I loved that because Hallmark like never does subplot romances like that, and I loved that. I thought that was really cute.
And the dad and
yeah, and the chef
Diane.
She was cute. I loved her.
Yeah. I'm glad they didn't make it like Victoria Clark and the dad.
Queen. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was so happy about that. I thought it was what I love. So like I stand by this. Hallmark always has one good Christmas movie a year. There's always one that's genuinely not terrible. And because I'm not a big fan of Hallmark movies, I was like force fed
all the same
by my mother my whole life. Right. And so I'm like, what's the point of this? But I liked this one. I thought this was really cute. And maybe that's just because I love Aaron and Laura. I don't know. But I thought this one was actually really cute. I really liked it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was really cute too. I do have like several questions about basically production budget and how little they cared in their editing and production. Because like,
what do you mean?
So Laura Osnes's hair in certain scenes looked awful. There were giant like crimp kinks
like
in the
brush
curls.
Through your curls, girl. Like what happened?
Who was the hair and makeup person on this movie?
I don't know, because hold on, Laura posted photos.
Because there were some scenes where I was like, your hair looks so bad.
Right, like I didn't like at the beginning of the movie her hair looked fine, like the first few scenes, and then like as soon as they get to Connecticut it's just
I will say her dress for the ball, gorgeous,
stunning. It was
but
so
then
beautiful.
But then the other dresses, I was like, huh? I'm like, you could find this at Macy's. There's no way a queen gifted this to someone.
Oh my god, I know. I loved a lot of Laura's outfits though. Like I loved the skirt, the red skirt and red shirt. I really loved that one. My mom loved that one. She texted me. She said, "That's what you're gonna wear for Christmas." And I was like, "Okay." So I found the skirt. It's literally sitting over here. I bought one because my mom was like, "You need that for Christmas." And I was like, "Okay, sure." So I found it doesn't look exactly the same, and it's definitely not like a wool blend one, but it's cute. So I'm going with it. I'm trying to see if I can find like how much they had to work with on this movie.
Like their budget.
Their budget was weird because also this was so strange. I was like, is that a she and him version of A Christmas Waltz? Like I was like, that's a weird
they definitely spent money on soundtrack.
I think they spent more money making this movie than any other Christmas movie they've made. I absolutely believe that.
Oh my gosh.
And I think it was cast alone. Like
I mean, cast alone, I mean, how much I feel like okay, so they filmed this in July.
Yes.
And where did they film it?
They filmed it in Connecticut.
They filmed it in Connecticut?
Yeah. Which is about 1,000 degrees in July. So
my god.
Yeah.
That seems awful. Also, the fact that they released this movie on Halloween.
I love that.
The wildest thing.
It was supposed to come out on November 1st. And they kept changing the time, but then Jeremy Jordan's Christmas movie came out on November 1st. So they were like, we may need to fix it. Because it was on a different Hallmark channel, because it was like the Hallmark Movies and Mysteries.
I feel like we should watch that for next week.
Yes, that's where all the like sad Christmas movies go, because like that one's like about a woman dying like with a terminal illness, and I'm like, I don't want to watch this. Like I was like, what?
No, I just want to watch a nice fluffy romance.
Right, but like that one was airing on a different station at the same time, so everyone was like losing it, and so Hallmark was like, all right, we'll fix it. We'll put Aaron and Laura on Halloween. That's what'll do it.
So there's the main like dilemma in the movie is that the queen and the prince need to get back to Galwick because the people are losing faith in their monarchy.
Well, no, it's Parliament. It's the Parliament guy is losing faith in it, and they're like, and he's trying to get rid of the monarchy. And so, and there's this whole thing where James's dad, Prince James, who's heir to Tveit, his dad passed away like the year before, right before Christmas or right at Christmas or something like that. And so James had to give the like Christmas Eve like speech thing for the first time. And apparently it went really, really poorly. Like he did really bad. And which is fair. His dad just died. Like, hello. And so that started like this whole downfall of like Parliament's trust in the monarchy or whatever. And so James is like trying to get back to deliver this speech that's like super important and super, but he hasn't written any of it. And it turns out that it's like he just needs the Christmas spirit.
Oh my God. He just needs a Christmas love.
He just needs love. And I called it the second I watched like the first like sneak peek thing for this movie. I was literally like, guys, how much do we want to bet right now that Prince James is like some stoic, like hardened man? And Laura's like pulling him out of that, and like he's like I was like, I'm calling it right now. And I had a couple people be like, no, there's no way. Like, I'm sure he's like this like playboy prince. I was like, no, I'm calling it right now. It's like based on like the 2 seconds I saw of Aaron Tveit's facial expressions in this movie, I'm calling it right now. And I was correct. And I'm really proud of myself for that.
So when he does get, I may have zoned out a bit towards the end.
It'd be like that. That's fine.
It'd be like that sometimes. Because I didn't know that where I was watching it was gonna have commercials, and I cannot focus if I have commercial breaks.
I get that.
Do they go back to Galwick and he gives the speech and then they immediately fly back?
Yeah, so what happened?
How far is Galway from Connecticut?
I'm assuming a 6-hour flight, 6 to 12 hours of a flight. But there's that time difference that also helps. So
6 hours is 6 hours.
Yeah, I don't know, Katie. I don't know. Laura Osnes, like when her live tweet, she was like, "Thank God for time differences," and I was like, "But also flights." I don't understand.
It would still take 6 hours to get there.
Right, like I don't know. So what happened is they finally are able to get back to Galwick, and so they get back, and James is all like broody, like himself, and Victoria Clark is like, "James, you were the most real you've ever been when we were with Anna in Connecticut." Like she was like, "As your mother, not the queen, but as your mother." It was this whole thing. And then just before he was giving a speech, he was like going through his dad's old speeches, and he found like a speech that was mostly for his family, like after he got out of the hospital in Boston, which is a whole nother thing. That basically
as to why he was in the hospital in Boston and not in London.
They said that. Well, no, they explained it in the movie.
Oh, clearly I wasn't paying attention at this point.
He was in Boston for like a world leaders like conference thing, and he had a heart attack, so he had stents put in at Boston General, and in the cardiac care unit where Anna works as a nurse. And so at first Anna was like, "I would remember if I treated a king. Like, come on, I'm not an idiot. Let's be real here." And they even told her like his like pseudonym that he went by while he was there. And I was like, oh, the whole thing. And then he finds this like speech to his family about like, "I wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for my like wonderful team that I had working on me at the hospital," like this whole thing. And this like amazing nurse, AJ, and her name is Anna Jordan. So like James immediately knew. He was like, I know in my heart that that's Anna. He like had this whole like thing with his mom, and it was really, really cute.
It's her. I know it's her.
He literally was like, I know it in my heart that was her. Like, it was like this whole thing. And so he gives his speech and he like cries in his speech. It's a really good, like pretty good speech considering.
Can I tell you, back to just production value of the movie?
Yeah.
When she was watching it on her phone or whatever, the speech hadn't already started. The speech hadn't started yet, and yet the comments were already going, yeah, I so agree. So agree with what? Nothing had been said.
Evan and I were laughing at that too. We were like, what are these comments? Like, what is this? But it's like, it was so funny to me. But he like gave a speech and everything, and Christopher sent the speech to Anna after it had happened, and so she's watching it and she's like, oh my God, I need to get back to him. And Sarah's like, what are you doing? And she's like, I have to go to Galwick. I have to go tell James how I feel. And then like, you just hear him go, Anna. Which made me laugh because it was just so weird. It like was so like, his voice just sounded very weird to me. I don't know what it was, but it made me laugh. And then she turns around and she's like,
there he is.
He's here. And then the worst, I hate this line because I hate really, really cheesy lines, but also it's Hallmark. Like I'm fine with it because it's Hallmark.
The script was written on a napkin. It's fine.
It's fine. So it was like, she was like, I saw your speech. And he's like, what was your favorite part? And she goes, when you left to come back to me.
Oh my God. I hate cheese.
I do too. And I was like, oh no. But then they had this really beautiful moment where he tells her like, you were AJ, like you were the nurse that helped my dad. And it turns out that his dad actually gave Anna his real name, but didn't tell her that he was a king. So it was like this whole, it was actually a really beautiful moment. I really liked that scene a lot. It was actually really cute. And then they kiss and it was cute. And then they do a waltz and I cried. Because it was very Cinderella. It was very, very cute. I really liked it. And then they kissed again. They kissed like 3 times, which is like a record in a Hallmark movie or something. Like it's like a lot. Like I even asked my mom, I was like, how often do people in Hallmark movies usually kiss? And she's like 1, and it's usually like a peck. I was like, oh.
Somebody was going a little crazy with the script.
Yeah. Aaron and Laura were like, you know what? Let's just go with it. Let's just do it.
Oh my goodness. This movie, I swear it. Insane.
It is.
But it's also Laura Osnes' like 3rd Hallmark movie.
It is. It's her 3rd one. I watched one of her. I didn't watch her other Christmas one.
Oh, see, I've only watched the other Christmas one. I didn't watch the In the Key of Love, even though I love.
Oh, I watched
Michael,
that one.
What's his name?
Scott Michael Foster.
Scott Michael Foster. I was like, last name is Foster, and there's a Scott and a Michael. I don't know which order it goes in.
I watched that one because that one premiered. Was it like
that was the one where they were like,
shutdown?
Well, no, that was the one where like a year ago or 2 years ago they were like, we're gonna air it. No, we're not. We're gonna air it. It's getting pushed.
Oh, that was the one they ended up just putting on like their streaming service or whatever.
Yeah,
and then
I was just like, I guess I'm never gonna watch it.
And then then they started airing it during the shutdown.
Yeah.
And I watched it with my mom like the first time it aired during the shutdown. And I wasn't. I don't know. I didn't.
Who runs Hallmark? Who runs Hallmark? That they just are like, you know, we can just move some things around. Yeah, we'll put this here. What kind of lackadaisical like management is happening at Hallmark?
Who knows? Oh my God.
I mean, like, to work at that channel is to not know security.
But also at the same time, if you're an actor at Hallmark, you're granted jobs for life. Like,
yeah.
Oh my God. It's almost like very cult-like. I don't know. I don't get Hallmark. Like, whenever I first heard that Aaron, Laura, and Krystal were all going to be in a Hallmark movie, I was very upset. Like, I was genuinely kind of mad. But then I was like, you know what? COVID, they need money. I get it. That's fine.
That's the thing. I was like, they filmed this in July when cases were insane. Not that they're not insane now. They're still
And the fact that
now,
they were able to safely do it and like all quarantine, that's nice. Like, I like that. So, and you know what? I needed this movie. This movie was very good for me. I needed some like disgusting Christmas fluff with Aaron and Laura and Krystal and Bradley and all the people.
You know, I have seen in person I've seen Laura Osnes several times.
Yeah, I've seen Laura and Aaron, and I think that's it.
And so when I was in New York last summer, I decided to get a blowout at Dry Bar. Did I tell you this? Did I tell you this story?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, I'm just gonna say it again because I like telling this story. So I think I had like an appointment at like 10 a.m. or something. And it was in the Hell's Kitchen location, I think. And I get in there and I'm just talking with like the woman at the front desk, and we're just like having a chat. And I go, I just want to treat myself because I deserve it. And she's like, oh, where are you from? And I go, I'm from California, Los Angeles, not this humid, because it was so humid that day. I'm like, I don't really know humidity. And she's like, oh, girl, you are in for a treat. Anyway, we have this conversation. And she's like, okay, go ahead and have a seat. There's one person actually doing hair in the Dry Bar. And I'm just waiting for her to be done with the person before her or before me. And so eventually she like comes and she's like, okay, let's go take you back. And we're walking back and she's walking me past the person that she just did their hair. And I look at her and I go, that woman's face is so familiar. And she's like taking a sip of coffee and then like about to like reapply her lipstick. I swear to God, like the most like classy thing I've ever seen in my life, where I'm like, this is who I want to be in my life. And that's also part of the reason why I was so like drawn to it. I'm like, this woman is who I want to be. Like this older like woman, late 60s, like this is who I was meant to be as a person. And I look and I'm like, oh my God, why do I know that face? And it wasn't until I got back to like the sinks for like my hair, like to wash my hair, that I was like, oh my God, that was Victoria Clark. And then I was just sitting there going, okay, we need to hurry up with this wash because I need to see if she was gone by the time I got out of the hair wash, which made me really upset because like how fun would that have been if I could have just like had a conversation with Victoria Clark in a Dry Bar. I don't know why she was there. Maybe she was there just to treat herself too, but I feel like most people go to Dry Bars to pay like an event or something.
Yeah,
but
she's the best. I love her.
But that's like this weird run-in I had with Victoria Clark once.
I love it. I think that she is like genuinely one of my favorite like Broadway vets ever. Like I adore her so much.
Well, yeah, I mean, her voice is insane. She was in Cinderella, Light in the Piazza. What else?
Oh God, don't ask me things because it's gonna.
She's been around for forever.
Yeah.
I heard that there was a oh God, I don't know how like accurate this is or if I'm misremembering it, but I feel like in Light in the Piazza there's a note or there's like a duet between the mother and daughter, and it was like Kelly O'Hara and Victoria Clark, and they realized that the mother was supposed to sing the higher note, and at one point they were just like, we can't do this 8 times a week because Kelly O'Hara can hit this note and it's harder for me because I'm older.
Yeah.
And so they decided that they would just like swap at that moment. That Kelly O'Hara would hit the high note and then she would hit like the lower. And except obviously when they did it on the cast recording, they did it the way it was supposed to be done because Victoria Clark can hit the note, but it just puts a strain on her. She does it 8 times a week.
Right.
I don't remember where I heard that story, and I don't know how like accurate it is. We'd have to like check in with them, but I don't know how that will ever happen.
She's done Sunday in the Park with George in 1984. She was an understudy. Cute. And then she was in Guys and Dolls in 1992. And then Grand Night for Singing, How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying, Titanic, Cabaret, Urinetown, Light in the Piazza, Sister Act, Cinderella, The Snow Geese, and she was in Gigi. She was in the 2015 Gigi.
I don't mean to sound rude. I thought she was older than 61.
Nope.
I definitely would have put her at like 68.
I could see that.
But maybe it's because of the roles she played.
Probably.
Has played. This was a short one.
Is there anything else to talk about in that movie?
I don't think so. The movie isn't really remarkable.
Hang on. Should we discuss the Cinderella moment?
Sure. Go ahead. Because
if you missed this, it was so good. So there's this part in like towards the middle of the movie where Laura's character like goes downstairs to the kitchen and Erin's character is there in full like
plaid pajamas,
like everything, like the pajamas, the slippers, the robe, all of it. It's so cute. And
in the quintessential man in a Christmas Hallmark movie's pajamas.
Yes, I love it. And Laura's like, oh, you got the whole like Captain Von Trapp thing going on here. And it's so cute. He goes, I know you don't think I understand that reference, but I do. And it was so cute because I always thought it was like Captain America being like, I understood that reference. It made me laugh so hard. That's all I thought of. And so like they have this whole conversation about his pajamas and everything. And at the end of the movie, on like Christmas Eve or on Christmas, I don't know, whatever it was, they're opening gifts. And he gives her this box. I was like crying at this because TBH, I was also a little bit intoxicated. I had like a spiked hot chocolate. So he like hands her a box and she like opens it and it's her own royal slippers. And then he just goes, may I? And like he gets down on one knee and like puts the slippers on her.
Okay, I think I remember that part.
I lost it. Like I was like texting my mom.
Like... Go ahead.
I was texting my mom and I was like, are you kidding me? I was like a full Cinderella moment. And she goes, I just told your dad that like you're absolutely dying right now. I was like, I'm literally dying. Like I was like, I'm obsessed with this. It was so cute.
Oh my gosh. We love to see it.
We do.
So should next week's episode be about Jeremy Jordan's Christmas movie?
We can, but if it's as short as this one, I feel like there should be more.
I'm sure we can discuss more. Because what's it called? It's called the Holly and Ivy or Ivy and Holly or something?
Holly and Ivy.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds like an American Girl book.
It does.
Well, Ivy is an American Girl. But her best friend's name is Ivy and...
Is Ivy an American Girl?
Yeah, she is. She's in New York in the 70s. She wants to be a gymnast. Newer.
Then maybe that's why I don't know her.
She...
I do know her. She was like... Yeah, because her book was Good Luck Ivy. 2007. Yeah, okay. Oh, I know her. Julie was her
Julie.
friend. So Julie was... Ivy was the best friend.
No, Julie was the best friend.
No, Ivy's the best friend because Julie's the main character. Because it says the Ivy... Literally, I'm reading it. It says the Ivy Ling doll was released in 2007. She was the only best friend to be released simultaneously with her historical character, Julie Albright.
Oh, so they released them both as... Like, they released it as a duo.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, because the only movie that exists is Ivy's. It's all about Ivy.
There's a movie
for them. Yeah, I had a moment last month where I just watched all of the American Girl doll movies.
Valid.
So I watched Felicity.
Oh, Ivy and Julie. Cute.
Yeah, except it's only about Ivy. Like Julie's in it, but you only talk about Ivy's. You only talk about Ivy's side.
Good for Ivy.
Does she choose Chinese New Year, or does she choose her gymnastics meet?
She chooses
Which
both.
is she gonna choose?
Does she choose both?
Because they always choose both.
I knew it. I knew she chose both. I freaking knew it.
It was like a giant fight between her parents and her, and
as it
she
usually
was lying.
I love American Girl. I grew up on that. I love American Girl. I went my entire life wanting to go to an American Girl store because there weren't any near me. And I had to wait until I was like 12. Like I was like 12 years old. And we went to Colorado for my cousin's wedding. And there was this one in Denver. And my mom was like, we're going to the American Girl store. We spent like $300. Like it's bad.
I have never been to an American Girl doll like place. Because I know they have one in New York.
They have two in New York.
They have one.
They still do.
They have one at the Grove in LA. I've seen it. I've never been inside. Because by the time it opened, I was over it.
I went to the one in New York when I was there, I think it was 2 years ago at like Thanksgiving to see the Rockettes and stuff and Pretty Woman. But my mom and sister and I, because my sister was living in New York then, we all went into the American Girl store because we were like, oh, nostalgia. And like we walked past it and I was like, oh, is that an American Girl store? Because I didn't know where it was in New York. I just knew it was in the city. I knew it was in like Midtown, but I didn't know where. I was like, as a kid, I was always so upset because my mom was always like, Santa doesn't bring American Girl. So like I always got stuff from my grandma, but I was like, why doesn't Santa do it? And then Santa would bring like off-brand American Girl stuff. So like my dad one year made me a wardrobe for all my American Girl doll clothes. And that was from Santa. And
did
then
you have
my parents always bought like what?
Oh, did you have an actual like book doll?
Oh yeah, I had like tons of them. I had.
Oh my God, those things are
was my first.
Expensive.
Yeah, Samantha was my first. She was my favorite. She was my favorite like historical doll. And then I had a couple of the Girl of the Years. I got those more as I got like older, like 11, 12 years old.
I never liked the Girl of the Years.
And then I didn't. And then they introduced, I had McKenna. She was like a gymnast. I really liked her. And so my grandma got me her and her dog. And then I loved Kanani, who was like the little Polynesian one. I loved her because she had like a shave ice stand and like a paddle board, and she had a little puppy. I had like all of it. Like I was obsessed with her. And now I'm mad because there's a historical doll in Hawaii. Like there's a Hawaiian historical doll, and I was like, where was this when I was a kid? And like I've always been obsessed with like Hawaiian culture and like Polynesian culture, so I always wanted one, and they never had it. And then I had a few of the like look like me dolls, but they never looked like me.
I only had a look like me doll.
I had one that was like her skin was much darker than mine. And when I told my grandma that was the one I wanted, she was like, are you sure? I was like, yeah, I like her. and then
I don't know where mine is.
Like she was perfect. Like they listed her as like caramel skin, and I was like, she's cute, I like her. And then I think I had a black one too because I loved her as well. I was like, I'm obsessed with these. I always wanted ones that looked so far different from me. Like I was like, these are the best ones.
Oh my gosh. I was always very much into Molly, and I don't know why.
Molly was cute. That was my mom's favorite.
But as I've gotten older, I've not really cared about Molly. Now I'm like, I like Felicity. I like Samantha. I like Kit. But I think
the only reason I liked Molly as a kid is because she was a tapper.
The only reason I liked her is because she had brown hair. She's the one that looked the most like me.
Oh, I was like, what? My mom was obsessed with Molly. Like she would always talk about it. And we're like, why do none of us have the Molly doll then? And she's like, well, none of you asked for it. And I was like, you could have just gotten it for us. Like what?
Because like Felicity, because when I was a kid, when these were doing it, and again, this is another example as to why like representation is so important. I was like, I was white. I am white with brown hair, and like Felicity, her hair was more red. Samantha, her hair was more black. I always felt like, and when I was little, I had like freckles on my face, and so I was like, Molly looks like me. I want that one.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I could like comprehend World War II more than I could comprehend child labor laws. Or the American Revolution.
The Samantha
or the Great Depression.
The Samantha movie, I used to watch it when I was a kid, but I would have to skip over the beginning when like that one kid's finger gets stuck in the sewing machine. Because like as a kid, like I would be at my babysitter's house and she would know to like skip through it because I had like a panic attack one day, like thinking that like this was gonna happen to me. Like I'd ever use a sewing machine. I did later on in my life, but like for like 5 minutes. And then I was like, oh my God, this is the most traumatizing thing I've ever seen in a movie. Like it was bad. I was genuinely terrified that one day my finger was gonna get stuck in a sewing machine.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know why. I was a dramatic kid. I'm still a dramatic person.
I didn't watch the Samantha movie until a couple months ago.
I like the Samantha movie. It's very Christmassy.
It is. I watch the Felicity one all the time. I'm pretty sure that when I was in 5th grade, we had to watch, or we were supposed to, we could have gotten extra credit if we watched, it was either Felicity or Molly. They came out within like a year of each other.
Yeah.
Why? I don't know. Which movie? I'm not sure. Which movie? Not sure. It would make, I was gonna say it would make more sense if it was Felicity because like Revolution, but I'm also like, 5th grade, all we talked about was states.
Same. But even then, 5th grade.
Well, that's the American education system.
In 5th grade, we did like Kentucky history.
Oh, that's 4th grade for us. So there's this oh my God, hold for sound.
Hello.
Hello. It's the street cleaner, like the street sweeper.
I said, "Oh, you wanted to film? That's cute."
I said, "Oh, you want to have your window open because it's actually a nice day out?" Sorry, not sorry.
It's so nice out here today too.
Well, today's high is 80 degrees, and it's currently 80 degrees.
Our high is like 66 or 68 today.
Oh,
nice.
Lovely.
So nice.
No, so there's this like whole thing. We're good with sound now, I think. There's this whole thing where it's like on California TikTok. It's like, hey, if you're from California, just don't say anything, or like, don't give any explanation. But what was your mission? And you just see everyone in the comments just drop all like naming all the missions that they had to do. So because California was settled by, or was colonized by Spanish settlers. Mm-hmm. They built, I'm sure you may know this, they built missions along the coast.
I don't know that. I'm from Kentucky. Okay. We don't learn anything.
I don't know. There's certain things about certain states you just know.
I was taught history wrong in Kentucky.
So was I. I mean,
I had to relearn history in my college, like U.S. history class.
Oh my gosh. But so there's this whole mission system that the Spanish settlers set up. Oh my God. Hold for sound again. They're doing the other side of the street now.
Oh
Come on.
God. I think I'm gonna order pizza for after this.
I'm just like, I have Doritos Cool Ranch chips downstairs, and I'm so excited to dig into this. They really needed to do that.
For those.
They really needed
Apparently.
to do, they really needed to sweep the street because they picked up a tree that had fallen over in our neighbor's yard from those insane winds.
Oh my God.
And then there just became a mess. Anyway, so the California...
My God.
What?
I can get a large up to 3-topping pizza for $10.
That's insane. But yeah, okay, so the California mission system, California was colonized by the Spanish, and the Spanish, like, Catholics set up missions to convert all of the native people. It really sucks. Like, it's awful. But,
Catholics.
yeah. But they're all within a day's... I think they're all supposed to be within, like, a day's journey from each other, you know, like, for the time. But that's what, like, San Diego, all of the sands have a mission, essentially. It's like San Diego, San Gabriel, San Luis Rey, Santa Barbara, San Francisco probably has a mission. Anyway, San Luis Obispo has one, and I didn't realize that that the 101 freeway was essentially built on, so like the path that they would take is called the El Camino Real. And I didn't realize that the 101 freeway was essentially built that way until I was driving to San Francisco back in January. And I'm like, why am I passing every single mission? I was like, what the heck is happening?
I love that.
But yeah, so there's this whole thing where it's like, hey, drop your mission.
That's funny.
And there's a whole thing that like every fourth grader in California has to build a mission. And there's like you go into Michael's Crafts, and they're anywhere I'm sure in California, and they have like mission kits, but a lot of teachers like, you are not allowed to use a kit. And obviously like everybody's parents does it for them, but my parents always made me do all of my projects myself. So even in high school is when I realized like how bad it was, because in physics there were certain things where I'm like, how the hell are you figuring out that this is what you're supposed to do? Like there was this whole project, there were 2 projects where I was like, there was a Rube Goldberg project we had to do, and I'm like, your parents are obviously doing this for you.
Yeah.
There's no way a 17-year-old knows how to do this. And then there was another one where it's like you had to build like a car that was supposed to move, but these people's parents all did it for them, and I hated that.
My dad is so like when we had to do projects and stuff, like I remember we had to do like a diorama type of thing with like either like a beach or like Sahara Desert or like stuff like that, like different, I don't know what they're called, whatever the heck they're called. And I chose to do like a tundra because I love the winter and I love snow. So I was like, I want to do a tundra. And my dad was like, a tundra? Like he was like, you can go get sand from the backyard. Like, why couldn't you have done that? And I was like, because I want to do a tundra. So we had to go to Michael's and get like foam and glitter and like all this stuff for snow. And I low-key was like, I just want to use glitter. Like, I was like, that's what I'm here for. And I'm still like that. Like, I still find any excuse to buy glitter that I can. And then we had to go to Michael's and get, like, the little, like, animals. The little, like, plastic animals. And it was the most fun thing I've ever done in my life. Like, we used one of my mom's shoe boxes. And it was so much fun. But my dad did most of it because, like... I come from a family of people who have control issues. So like, and I have it too. Like, it's so bad. But oh my God, like it was so funny. He always did that when I was a kid.
Oh my gosh, my parents would never.
And my dad, I don't know how to cook because anytime my dad tries to teach me, he just does it for me. Like he's like, oh, it's fine, I'll just do it. And I'm like,
I'm really good at following directions.
I'm not. I'm good at making up my own directions.
Oh my goodness. Well, I feel like we should call it.
Probably. We don't have any, we've talked about nothing theater related for like 20 minutes.
That's fine.
Who cares?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
We don't have that big of an audience. No one cares.
I'm gonna get a text from my friends and they're gonna be like, you didn't even talk about theater.
It's
Shut up.
fine. We talked about the movie enough.
It's been a long week. We've had a long week, okay?
And it's still not fucking over.
Oh my god. It's about to be though. Girl.
We went from Nevada, hurry up, to Georgia, hurry up.
Georgia needs to hurry up.
Now we're like, Nevada, you need to hurry up too. Pennsylvania, what the fuck is taking so long? Okay, let's wrap this up. I feel like we haven't really talked much about anything theater related. We went on a whole American Girl doll rant, which is fine, which is great. We talked about the California mission system and gave you my limited information about it from 4th grade, which was so long ago. Yes. So until next time, Jill, where can we be found?
On Instagram and Twitter and TikTok. Instagram and TikTok are at Thoughts Shared Podcast. Sure, and Twitter is Thoughts Shared _. Yeah, those are our things.
And if you'd like to find me individually, I am at Complete Katie on Instagram, and Twitter makes me anxious, so you cannot find me there. But I'm also on TikTok at Katiefornia. Jill?
I am on all the things at It's Jill Hayes, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook. I don't know. All the things at It's Jill Hayes. That's just my thing.
And if you'd like, please rate, review, subscribe. We're on all places podcasts can be found. That'd be really great. So until next time, goodbye.